What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Refinement. My name is Chris. We have Mel today. Mel, before we get into the content, do you want to introduce yourself and let people know where they can find you on social media?
Okay, hello, my name is Mel. I go under the handle Back from Burnout, and you can find me on Instagram and YouTube, both under the name of Back from Burnout.
So I'm very excited because you are at about $100,000 a year in sales, and you're
hmm
making that $900, $1,000 a week goal that people want, but
hmm
you're not where you want to be, and because there's a lot of things going on. You made a lot of changes.
Yeah,
And I'm excited because you want to get to that next level. People always want to make 100K. And right now, I can tell you're wearing yourself a little bit too thin because you're
yeah,
changing so many things.
yep,
So
yep,
one thing that I think is cool is you're right at that 20 sale a day range.
yep,
And so that's a good place to be. And you're listing more than that, which means sometimes your cash flow might be tight.
yep,
It would be different if you were selling 50 and listing 50 a day, but
yep,
selling 20 and listing 50 means you're spending cash.
yes. I am buying in bulk loads, but so I am
Yeah.
spending less at the moment because I'm trying to buy in bulk loads and get the items for much cheaper by buying like big lots.
So this is great. I do the same. I think that as you get more mature in your business, you can start to buy bulk.
Yep.
You don't have to give away your secrets, but do you have any tips for people to moving from individually buying to getting into bulk?
I think moving from charity shops to like Facebook and Gumtree has like helped me
Mm,
immensely. Like I've been able to source much larger hauls and just reaching out to people before when I was too nervous to kind of put myself forward and ask for these kind of deals and
mhm.
um, even just like if I see something listed on Facebook and it's too much money, if it's too high priced, I'm not afraid now to kind of go in there and haggle and say,
Mm.
I'm interested in what you're selling, but it's out of my budget. Would you consider doing a bulk deal and going in at a lower rate? So doing that it's given me a lot of confidence and it's really helped change the business.
I love it. So
Yeah.
you're at this stage right now where you're looking for additional help. I think you run out of time?
I'm I'm working a lot. I have to say I probably put in like a good 60, sometimes 70 hours a week. So I'm definitely I'm definitely grinding hard.
Well, I will tell you that it will get easier as things get more streamlined. And I think that
Yep.
it's important to think a little bit larger because, like, as an example, I average between 70 and 100 new listings a day, but
Yep.
I'm at maybe like 60 sales a day. So it's
Yep.
still a little bit above the number. And I think that it's important to think a little bit ahead, but also it if you double the number of listings that you put into the store, your sales will not double.
No.
This is the scary part. It takes like 6 months for the traffic
I was going to say, so when does it kind of get to that point where you're putting in, that however, if I'm start to put in 75 to
yeah.
100 listings a day,
hmm
when does it normally get to that? How many listings would I roughly need to get to that point where I'm nearly leveling up?
So okay, I cheated. Okay. When I did this, so I was at around 50 sales a day, and I didn't want to wait because I started to list 70 and I didn't want to wait for that to happen. So I actually bought another eBay store. So
Okay.
when I did that, my listings went from 7,700 to 11,000 in one day.
Right.
So, and I maintained the listings that main, but the amount of listings grew accordingly. So
Yep.
I only had to wait maybe 2 months, but I actually didn't even want to wait 2 months. I was
Mhm.
impatient. So I
Yep.
offered free shipping for 2 months.
Okay.
So because I just wanted to get the algorithm to trust me that, okay, I'm serious. And then because when you make your items cheaper, obviously you'll get a little more traffic to get the ranking. So
Yep.
once the sales ramped up, I turned off free shipping again so I could get
Okay.
my margins back again. But I
Radio.
wanted to get the cash flow to improve.
Yes.
And I think
Okay.
that because traffic will only incrementally grow
hmm
unless you change the price.
Okay.
from my opinion. So
Okay.
it's almost like you kind of have to give things away in that little transition to make it better. So one thing that retailers do is when they have a good opportunity to buy something, they'll run a sale,
Yep.
get the cash in, use that money to buy the new opportunity.
Yep.
It's the same thing with growing this, in my opinion.
Okay.
But when I did that, I almost ruined my store because I was not used to the customer service.
Okay.
My customer service almost doubled because the new crop of, can I buy two things? Can I buy three things? I never had that before because the
Yep.
store didn't have the availability. So let's talk about, do you share your categories that you sell on?
Well, I sell primarily books now.
Okay.
I've
So,
moved primarily from being a clothing seller to a bookseller. So
and
yeah, it's pretty much all types of books.
are you going to stay primarily a bookseller?
I think so at the moment because
Okay.
I feel like for me, because I've got, I've got 4 kids and I'm trying to run a YouTube, which is very time consuming.
That's right.
And I just feel like I need less to focus on at the moment. And because the books in volume like this, because I have to sell them in volume because there's such a mix of like lower end to higher end, I feel like I need to just focus and streamline that down. Because once I focus on just the books, then all my systems become running so much more faster and more smoothly because they're so systemized. But if I start chopping and changing with clothes and stuff again, then
Yep. I
it
agree.
changes everything. It slows me down. So I feel like YouTube and the books is enough for me to manage at the moment. So at the moment, I feel like that's the reason why I just want to focus solely on the books.
Okay. I'm going to give you um, a, just an idea from what I'm thinking. I
Mhm.
would like you're selling 20 books a day right now, an average of around $10 profit.
Yeah.
This is going to be out there, but I want you to start
Yep.
thinking 100 books a day. I know it
Yep.
sounds crazy,
Yep.
at $5 profit.
Yep.
Because I imagine the profit will shrink a little bit when the lots get larger.
Yep.
But
Well,
go ahead.
when I sell the bundles of books, like
Yep.
they're actually making really quite
More.
good profit.
Sure.
They're making more than $10,
Mhm.
but there is a lot when you're doing books, there is a lot of books that, only sell for around that $22 mark and
Sure.
some even less. So then it averages out, $10 profit.
I agree.
Yeah.
But also the bundles take some time.
Oh,
So
yes, they take more time for
so
wrapping. Yeah.
I want you to think in the finish line this year. I know it's
Yep.
ambitious, but I'd like you to
Yep.
sell 100 books a day and think that way.
Okay.
And so the reason is because what that does is it forces you to reduce variability. One
Hmm.
thing I learned a lot from this episode that I was watching with this coffee shop, and the gentleman said you need to sell 200 cups of coffee a day. That's the number one focus. And then as I started to research her coffee shop, obviously it's not the same cup of coffee.
Yep.
Some are $2 cups, some are $4 cups, some are $8 cups. And so this is, books are your coffee. It's
Yep.
your main deal. So
Yep.
is it been a big process change from clothing to books?
It has.
Yeah,
I
I
think just
assume.
getting the books into volume,
Yep.
took over my house. It made me that I needed to go to storage units. I've gone from going to the charity shop and picking up hauls of like 20, 30, 50 pieces of clothing to
Hmm.
now bringing in books in like 100, 200, 500, having to hire trucks. I had a load of like
Yep.
4,000 books come in, and it just, and then when you get like such a massive load of them, it almost
Hmm.
becomes overwhelming on where to even start with them.
Of course.
So,
And you can work
yeah,
for a few hours and the pile is still the same.
that's right. And
Yeah.
because I've been trying to bundle up books because they're the ones with the
Mhm.
higher profits,
Yep.
I guess it's taking me a lot of time to sort through the books and work out which ones can go into lots and which ones need to sell individually.
Sure.
So that also is more time consuming. So
Okay.
maybe
So
what you're saying is rather than focusing on the lots, try and just focus on selling a lot more of the individuals
I think I would
and
do
just
both.
turning them.
I would do both. You need a really fine sorting process. Also with books, there's a lot of grading,
Mm,
right? So there might be a set of books that there might be two sets of books, one that's excellent and one that's very good. It depends on what the series are. I know I'll try to connect you with some sellers that I think I know one seller with 12 12 million books in stock or something like that.
Whoa.
Media sellers are the largest quantity sellers on eBay. They
Mm,
sell DVDs, CDs, books. They sell the most quantity.
hmm.
And I would say that their average sale price is under $10.
Yep. Yep.
They're moving the
Okay.
volume books.
The volume, just move
Um,
it, take the lower profit and just
right.
keep moving it through in volume.
And everything looks the same, the process. And
Mhm.
it's difficult because you're building a machine now versus
Yes.
the um, mom and pop shop. You're moving more towards
Yes.
a process,
Yeah, it's like a sausage factory. It's
like a
just that
sausage
churn and
factory.
burn.
That's
but
right.
then but then once you start growing to that level of being even able to sell like 100 a day,
Yeah.
then you've got the more of the storage issues again, because
Yeah.
I've got multiple storage units now,
Hmm.
but then it becomes the level of outgrowing the storage units to then going up to more costs.
Yep.
And I mean, I can see that I'll get to the point where I almost feel like I'm going to need some kind of really big warehouse, but then there's so much more expense to that as well. So it's just finding this balance to keep
Yep.
adjusting with the growth, but
This
then
is
making
this
money
is
myself.
this is quite interesting because I would say my it became more peaceful for me maybe a year after where you are at.
Okay.
You have a little bit more time to adjust to the new processes
Yep.
because you need to be big enough to comfortably afford another person.
Yep.
And right now you hiring someone with only making 900 to 1,000 a week, that new person might cost half that.
Yep.
And it makes it very challenging. Also now, not only do you have that person, you need the space for the stuff they list. You also need that new stock coming in. It's very stressful.
Yep.
So it's almost like right now you're let's see, around 10, 11,000 per month. I think if you how long can you continue at this pace with 50 a day with your VA and 20 with you? Or is it too
Yeah,
thin for you?
I think it's okay. I think at the moment, like I'm okay. I'm running that fine. It's just, I guess, getting it to that next level where I'll be. Um, that's what makes it feel daunting. Like, where is that next level? And obviously, you get to another level where you need to hire more. Like, I'll obviously, like you said, I need to hire somebody else to probably come in and help me with the photos and putting the books away and keeping the inventory running smoothly, because all that kind of stuff is when you're bringing in hundreds of books a day and then trying to also get them photographed and ready for the VA. It's just like a constant.
So I'm
It
thinking here,
Yeah.
right now during your day, what do you feel like is the weakest? What's the bottleneck?
I think the weakest thing for me is the interruptions through the day. And,
Okay.
I guess at the moment it's been hard. I've still got the kids on school holidays here. And
Mm,
even though they're bigger and they're very self-sufficient because they're older and they can stay home, and, I'm still popping in and out to take them to their jobs and
mm.
doctor appointments. And I think it's just that chunk. It's really that chunk time that I feel like I struggle with. I
Can
think
I?
also with doing the book hauls, it's not like I've just got set times anymore where I'm going to go to the charity shop 3 mornings a week and source.
Mhm.
Now that I'm sourcing these wholesale lots differently and they come up at different times, and you're working around people that you're buying from on Facebook Marketplace, and then you just have to fit in with them on when they want it collected. And so you'll be in the middle of doing something and then it'll be like, this person wants this haul collected now, I have to jump out, and it just kind of ruins all the workflow, I guess. So
That makes sense.
yeah.
Do any of these sources on Facebook Marketplace, could they be repeatable? Could they bring you books regularly?
Um, no, not really. No, they're more buying from people who are moving house and they're downsizing and they've
I
just
see.
got bookcases, or people who are retiring, they're moving into retirement homes and they've got huge bookcases
Mm,
full. So they're the type of people. I bought like a really huge haul from a man whose wife had passed away and she was
mm.
just an avid reader. So they're kind of not constant. I'm buying them in big hauls and then I never see that person again.
Okay, that's gonna be your top obstacle is
Mhm.
inconsistent supply.
Yep.
So um, I would like you to try to find some business suppliers. That's going
Mm.
to take some time, business to business.
Mhm.
either a charity shop that's collecting all the books for you, or you have a scout that's going to look for books. It Once that becomes consistent, you can start not having to break your day to go get a certain amount.
Mm.
All of my stock comes in on one day.
Oh, okay.
So
One day a
every
week.
one day a week. So all the buyers come on the same day. I buy the same day. Then they can't come till the next week if they miss that drop off. That
Right.
way it's set and it makes it easier for the rest of the day. And
Mm.
the scheduling with your family, that is also a challenge, obviously. So I feel like would need a dedicated amount of time to work.
Yep.
But I actually, might be a stretch, but I don't think you need more employees to do
Mhm.
100 a day.
Yep.
You need a consistent supply.
Yep.
That way you're not spending half the day. You lose half your day
Yep.
with inconsistent sourcing.
Yep.
So that's probably the biggest key. Do people know you as a bookseller yet?
Definitely some. Like my charity shops know me as a bookseller, and
Okay.
yeah, I've definitely not been afraid to tell them what I'm doing, and you know, let them know that if they do have any deals, they can call me. So yeah.
Have you time? I mean, you're a very good photographer and you have a background in photography.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like you photograph very quickly.
I do. I've got a really good system going with the photos now.
Hmm.
So basically I do it all in batches. So I price comp. So when the hauls come in, I price comp them and I put them all into like buckets of how much I'm going to sell the books for.
Hmm.
And then when it's time to photograph, I've got three big long tables set up. And one of them's there for photos. I've got little reference for pricing and the type of
Sure.
hardcover part, all these things that I give to the virtual assistant. So I photograph the book and then give her a reference photo with the pricing and all the different
Ah,
things on
okay.
it. So yeah, so then she knows exactly. It's got the reference photo has paperback, hardback, the price, the condition, good, acceptable, or whatever. So it's all put there on the reference photo, and I have all those stuck on a big magnet board, and so I can just pull them off quickly. So, and I try and do it in loads. So if I was photographing a whole lot of $20 books, I'll do them all at the same time, all the $20 books. And then the only thing I have to change up with the virtual assistant is like if it's a hardcover or a paperback. So I try and do all the paperbacks first, and then I do all the hardbacks. So, and then I move it along and I put it into two piles going by the author, because I've got
Hmm.
my inventory runs by two rows basically,
Hmm.
A to Z. So I know that A to L goes in one side and L to Z goes in the other. So I kind of, as I'm finishing the book, I look at the author and I put them into piles, so I know exactly which aisle I have to take it down and put it away. So it's all a very smooth system of photographing and popping it away into the right inventory shelf.
So does she pull the information from the UPC or the barcode as well? Does she get
No,
information from that? No.
no, because the thing is, within Australia, it's not compulsory to add a barcode with books. So
Mm.
most resellers don't add it. So it's actually quite like I can't, even though I can use the eBay app, the little camera in it to scan a book, it's quite inaccurate, the details in
Mm.
Australia, because not everybody's entering the barcode.
I see.
So the ones that are coming up for sale or that have sold is very few. And I just find it, you have to actually manually type in the name of the book to be able to price comp it. So
And the
yeah,
VA is pulling that from the photos?
the VA pulls it from the photos. Yeah.
Okay,
So
that's a
I
great
put
time
them in.
saver. Okay.
Yeah. I put them into like folders, fiction and non-fiction. And she's got templates set up for cooking books, gardening books, non-fiction, fiction. And then she just has to go in and enter as many of the item specifics. And yeah, she's got this big reference photo where I show her, I've put, the pricing so she can't get any of it wrong. Because you kind of have to spoon feed the virtual assistants.
Well,
You
this
know,
is exactly like, for example, there are a lot of services that do this. And when you hire a VA, it's the same thing, except for you need to provide probably around 10 item specific, 8 to 10 item specifics. And then
yep,
they can do it for you when you have that. But
yep,
VAs don't want to be creative. They don't want to do the research. They want to do data entry.
yep, yep.
So that's great. Okay,
Yeah.
so number one, the biggest issue is that we need a few business to business suppliers.
Hmm.
So we need to figure out how to get consistent, regular supply in, so you
Hmm.
don't have to. And my guess is that's going to require a lot of sorting,
Hmm.
because it might come in with a larger variance. I don't think you can make $10 profit on a business lot coming in. You can though from people's homes.
Yes.
No problem. Okay, so now what about your schedule? What's your day look like?
Well, I'm trying to do in the morning, I'm trying to do things like admin, ending and relisting,
Okay.
answering messages, and anything that kind of needs doing on the computer. And
Okay.
because I'm not so much of a morning person, so I find that if I do all the computer cut stuff while I'm kind of sitting and having coffee, I'm better. And also, I'm working on a lot of YouTube stuff in the morning and behind the scenes stuff with the YouTube, I guess. And
And
then
then
I'm
shipping?
yeah, I do. So I print all my labels here at home because I don't have any Wi-Fi in there. I mean, I do have Wi-Fi in there, but I don't have any electricity to take a computer in there and print labels. So I'm still doing all my printing of my labels here at home. And so I get all that done in the morning. And then I'm going into the unit by lunchtime and I'm trying to spend like about 4 hours in there and I'm shipping or packing or photographing and listing and sorting and culling and doing all that kind of stuff. And then I normally come back home and I normally get the photos to the virtual assistant, and I might then have to work on the video that I've made for the day for YouTube and thumbnails and all that kind of stuff. And then quite often it's 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and I'm just trying to finish up. So it's pretty long days. And I guess since I've got the storage units, it's now trying to find that rhythm of what time works best for me. I've experimented with doing my photos and stuff in the morning, very first thing, like go to the unit 7:30 in the morning and do photos and stuff, and it's not too bad, but I'm not a real morning person, so I almost feel like by lunchtime I've got more energy to get in there and work faster at those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walk me through, how often are you posting on YouTube?
This year I'm trying to do it 3 days a week,
Okay.
Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Have you
Last
figured?
year,
Go ahead.
last year I did it twice a week, and now I'm trying to
Okay.
build it. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And what do you think time wise you put into each video?
Ooh, more than I should probably. Um, some of them are surprising. Some of them take 2 or 3 hours or more, to make a video. But I'm trying to. This year, I've decided to try and vlog a little bit more, so it's
Sure.
probably less editing because a lot of it's more raw. Whereas last year, it was more. I was trying to make everything maybe too perfect. I don't know. And I did a lot of live streams last year, but this year I'm trying to do more pre-recorded and just trying to vlog more and show more about my processes and my daily life and in the shed and the hauls that I'm getting. So I am changing it up a little bit this year. So it's a bit different, but it's going well.
I love it. I would say, like, for myself, since I'm posting daily,
Yeah.
so with the schedule, I'm looking at it as in, I would say my videos never take more than 2 hours,
Mhm.
but it's about an hour now of planning.
Yeah.
So I'll plan what I want to say, an idea, concept, and then I try to batch as many as I can together. I try to do some interviews, um, and then trying to adjust it. But YouTube really rewards the consistency, just like just like eBay.
Yeah.
So number one would be us figuring out the inconsistent supply. Number two would be figuring out a schedule for eBay first.
Hmm.
And I think that if you do that, you'll have plenty of YouTube content, because
Yeah.
that happened to me 3 months ago. I partnered with Tech and Sports, and he
Hmm.
does 250 a day. And when I look at his schedule, he also has 12 other businesses, dozens of rental properties, and he has a family.
Yeah.
So I'm like looking at the way that he does it, and really the main difference between what he does and what everybody else does is it's very scheduled.
Hmm.
People come. He just texted me today. By the minute, my day is almost the same,
Hmm.
and that's so difficult to achieve. Somebody showing up at this time. Does the VA expect a certain number of listings each day?
No, she's really good. She doesn't expect a certain amount, and whatever I give her, she will do. So if I wanted to give her 150 a day, I'm pretty sure she would cope with that and she would do it. She mainly does them while I'm sleeping. I give her them in the
Right.
afternoon, and then when I wake up in the morning, she's always done them. So I think she's just happy to take on as much as I will give her.
Of course. But
Yeah.
that being said, somebody in person
Yeah.
is going to be pushing you much harder.
Yeah.
As an example, today we did 250 sets of photos.
Hmm.
It was 8 hours of 30 photos an hour, roughly,
Yep.
packing them and putting them away.
Yep.
This lady comes Monday and Friday, and she does not want to wait. She wants the items ready to go.
Yep.
So we're doing 240 photos on Monday and Wednesday. I'm sorry,
Okay.
Monday and Friday. But I'm still figuring out how to assemble those and get it all put together. But the photo part, since she's expecting to make, I'm paying $120. I want 240 photos.
Yep.
That's the expectation for me. I want to pay 50 cents for that part.
Yep.
So um, that Monday and Friday bookmark is so nice. And your VA is too nice. She needs to be like, I need 50 a day. Then you would have a little bit of, because she's remote,
Yes.
not like that.
Then I've almost got the accountability to her.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
So
I
when
think,
you
go
say
ahead.
that you're doing 2 days a week of photos,
Hmm.
so you've got somebody coming in and doing 2 8-hour lots of photos,
That's right. That's
right?
here.
And so
Yeah.
that's enough photos then to get you through the whole 7 days.
For I have two locations now. So one
Mhm.
location, they do 70 a day. It's just two part-time people.
Yep.
They come in and do the whole thing. The only thing they need from me is 700 items that show up. They
Yep.
will they will get it. So my responsibility to them is just getting them the items.
Yep.
But I want to replicate that here.
Yeah.
But I haven't found I haven't found the two people to help me yet.
Yep.
So, but I will find another person here, and then I should be able to do 200 a day,
Mm.
because I think that a team of two people can, this is sounds crazy, but 140 a day. I think two people, one person, I think fully optimized can do 70 a day.
Mm.
So I think you and your VA, as long as you would need a 4 hour block every day to take photos though, and that's brutal
Yeah, I don't think it takes me 4 hours to take enough photos for her,
for 100.
but yeah, no, it wouldn't take me that long.
Okay.
I reckon I'm faster. I'm
So
for
what
a
would that
hundred.
take? Yeah.
I reckon it would take me for 100 photos. It would maybe take me 2 hours.
Wow. Okay. That's fast.
Yeah, I do have like a good system going for it. I think it's just that trying to keep. Yeah, I don't know. I think because I don't have any photos kind of in the bank, I guess, sitting there now, like it's not like I've got folders of waiting. So if I do have a day where I get caught up doing other stuff and I don't get that chunk time to do the photos, that's
Mhm.
where I fall behind and the inconsistency stops. So I don't know if I'd be better like you to maybe just focus on like 2 days a week with a bigger chunk of time and try and get like those 700 listings or something done, 350 listings done each time in 2 time blocks. So then I've got enough for the whole week and I don't have to worry about trying to fit that into my days on an everyday basis. That's I think that's the kind of system I'm trying to work at. I need to work out now. Is it better for me to be trying to do like 100 every day, or is it better for me to be trying to do like a few chunks?
I know the answer to that. So the answer to that is you have to have an appointment. So we showed up to this call together because we had an assigned appointment, right? And
Yep.
our goal is to flush out some ideas.
Yep.
If you were to set a schedule for, let's say, as an example, um, to be honest, the lady that works with me to take the photos, I could do the entire thing by myself,
Yep.
but it's much easier with someone there to keep me accountable. And I'm personally not a lone wolf type. I
Yep.
work better with others. And I think you would too.
Yep.
So if you have an appointment set up to get X amount done, even if that person is just bringing you coffee,
Yeah.
It's literally enough
Yeah.
motivation to make it work. And then your whole family can adjust around that.
Yep.
They know on Mondays and Thursdays, Mel does this.
Mm.
And you might want to block out, maybe do 200 photos in 4 hours.
Yep.
I think beyond 4 hours, it starts getting
It's tiring,
tiring.
boring.
So 2 to 4 hours. Yeah, I think of
Yep.
that. Get a good podcast going.
Yep.
Um, but yeah,
Yep.
the appointment, we need to get the schedule a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think that's what I probably need to. It's all a little bit airy fairy at the moment. I come and go and do as I please and try and fit different things in different days. I don't have those time blocks for
mhm.
certain things. And I think that's probably what I'm lacking.
Is there anything else that you'd like to do? Like you have YouTube and you have eBay. That's a lot already.
Yep. That's
Anything
enough for
else?
now. I don't think so at the moment. I think that's my two focuses at the moment, business wise.
Okay.
Yep.
How about family wise? Anything to look forward to? I mean, it's a weird time right now, but do you
I
look
mean, I
for
think I'd love a proper holiday. We haven't had a proper holiday for a
Mm,
long time. So a proper holiday,
I love
we
it.
go camping a few times a year, but I'd actually like a proper holiday where we take the kids to an island or something and,
What do
really
you think? What does that look like?
money wise.
No, money wise and time wise. You want to go for 2 weeks?
I mean, I think I'd be happy with like even just 7 nights, like just, I mean,
Okay.
2 weeks would be lovely, but 2 weeks would be hard for us all around because my husband's also self-employed.
Mhm.
So when he doesn't work, there's no money. If I'm not working much, there's not money. So
Mhm.
I know that eBay will tick over if I'm not working. If I go into like a holiday mode, but it does drop and then you got to build it right back up again. That's how it feels. Like even over Christmas, I kind of couple of weeks off from listing and I just was shipping and that was really all I was doing, answering questions and shipping. And I took that couple of weeks off and then you've got to spend another few weeks building it right back up.
That's right.
Yep.
You
Yep.
have to have, if the, you know, the saying goes, if you can't take 6 months off,
Mm-hmm.
then you don't have a business, you have a job. And
Yep.
I agree with that. I'm
Yep.
not ready to take 6 months off, so I'm still working there, but I like that idea. I can definitely take 2 weeks off.
Yep.
So I think this proper holiday should be something you have written down somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
because this is what happens to me. My wife loves traveling. She'll write down what she wants to do, and I'll just figure out how to get stuff done sooner,
Yep.
because I'm looking forward to that. And then the wheels start turning and it makes it easier. But without that planned out, if you knew where you wanted to go, how much
Yep.
it was going to cost, you gave yourself an artificial deadline, you would start to adjust.
Yep. Manifest it.
You would manifest it. And I
Yep.
love because that's a very reasonable request.
Yep.
A proper holiday. Even if
Just
you
a
just turn,
holiday.
even if you turned your eBay store off, which is worst case scenario,
Yeah.
you would want to, and understanding that it would take some time to build it back up. Okay. But I think that in order to take a proper holiday and not fear that your eBay store would die, you need a shipper.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend you have an in-person person that works part-time,
Mm.
because it sounds like it'll cost more, and it will.
Mm.
You're going to be strict on your time when that person comes in twice a week. They need to be expecting something.
Mm.
I think that would help a lot. A
Because the
part-time
shipping,
10-hour
I
person.
mean, the shipping doesn't take me that. Like I timed
Sure.
myself the other day. I had about 60 orders on the Monday, and that took me 48 minutes to pick it and ship it.
Killer. So Mel,
So,
what would I do if I came to help you next week for 10 hours?
oh, look, I think photos I've got so much
I
backlog
would
of
take
stock now.
photos.
Probably. I don't know. I don't know if you would take, like, this is not, I guess if it was you with all your knowledge, I would want more for you to come in and watch me and work out systems that would work for me. If I was just hiring like a generic staff member, photos would probably be the thing that I would need the
But you're
most help.
so good at photos.
Yeah, I know, but I guess if I had, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I am. I don't know. I am pretty good at the photos and I'm fast at them, but it's just
Mhm.
one of those jobs that then takes time away from me maybe like sourcing more or sourcing better or finding those contacts, because they're all the things that take time, and you get so caught up doing the basic stuff like photos and listing and organizing and putting books away and sorting books into bundling and price comping them all and stuff.
I agree. So let me tell you, I think that when I take the photos, the
Yeah.
items sell really fast. The pictures are all perfect. But when you try to hand it off, the quality is going to dip, at
Mm-hmm.
least in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is hard to let go. But
Mm.
I think photographs, um, that's definitely you would get back. Let's see, right now you're at 20 a day, so you're spending maybe 5 hours a week with photos.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, maybe what would you say? 5 hours a week shipping, and maybe a little more.
No, I would probably say
10
3.5, 4 hours a
three.
week shipping.
So where's all your time, Mel?
I don't know. You're
You're
making
so
it
good at this because most people don't know how long it takes, but you're crushing the photos. You're doing 50 an hour. You're
Yeah.
shipping at 50 an hour.
Yeah.
That means you could do your business in 4 hours a day. You should be done by four. You should be done by 4 p.m.
Well, probably the eBay. I guess with it, it's not just that side of it. I guess
Okay.
my hours are also taking up with the YouTube side
Yeah,
of it,
I
and
got
then
you.
coming home and, uploading to the virtual assistant and,
Yeah. How are
giving
you
her details.
transferring the photos? Do you use the memory card?
I'm using my phone now to take the photos.
Okay.
So then I just airdrop them to the Mac.
Yep.
And then sometimes I have to put them into some folders for her. So but I am in the process of making a few more little reference cards. So hopefully I can do less folders for her.
So before when you changed, why are you making the folder?
I'll put them into folders like for her for the templates. So like cooking, nonfiction,
I see.
fiction, gardening, religious. So I kind of put them into those because she's got different templates made up. Whereas if I just put them into like fiction and nonfiction, then she doesn't think of it in the same way. Whereas if I put them into a specific folder and go cooking, she knows it's for the cooking template, and I've already got that set up with a lot of the cooking or the gardening or whatever the fitness ones or whatever it might be. So whereas if I can make a few more reference cards to put on my reference photo as I'm photographing, I think that'll take that step away from me. So that'll be more less time. And I guess sometimes as well it's just counting the books, like, okay, I pay the virtual assistant by lots of 50. So, then I'm working out, okay, these 50 books are going here, and then I'm kind of creating a new job for her for another 50. And I probably maybe need to look at just making a deal with her where if I send, instead of saying here's a lot of 50, here's a lot of 50, maybe I need to do what you were saying to stay more accountable and say, here's 700 for the week, spread them out over the week. And then it would hold me more accountable to getting her those 700 a week rather than just doing it in lots of 50 when I can.
Because if I look at the time, if it only takes, so one more question before we move on. When you upload the photos, are the photos in order?
Yes.
Okay. Because that sometimes can take some time as well. So, okay, you're uploading the photos. Ideally, you would upload the photos and you're done.
Mm-hmm.
She would know from that. You could put the folder on the card.
Yep.
And then she would know. Okay, so we can improve there. That would be the upload and be done. Because I almost feel like the extra work, you just list it yourself.
Yes.
If I have to do too much on that side.
The other thing with the virtual assistant is, and I don't know if I need to look at getting a second one just in case she goes away. Like I sometimes as well, I think, gosh, I also don't want to burn her out and make her so sick of listing books that she doesn't want to. Obviously, she obviously wants the money, but I'm also conscious of giving her too much as well, where she feels like, because I sometimes with these virtual assistants, I feel like they don't know how to say no to you. They're just like, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am.
I agree.
And I also don't want to burn
Is she in the
her
Philippines?
Yes.
Okay, then they're so polite.
Yes.
You could, and you'll never find anyone that'll work harder.
No, or cheaper.
She Yeah, she's excellent. Okay, great.
Yep.
I love it. So this is let's see here. Because on paper, it seems like 100 listings would be 2 hours of photos. So let's just say 15 hours a week of
Mm-hmm.
photos.
Yep.
Hours a week of photos.
Yep.
Um, you could hire someone to do that,
Mm-hmm.
and that would be a part-time worker,
Mm-hmm.
and that would eat into your 900 to 1,000
Yeah,
profit in the
that's the
beginning, which
thing,
is
isn't it?
scary.
Because
Uh,
to hire somebody to physically come in is much more expensive than like the virtual assistant.
oh yeah, much
You know,
more, much
they're
more.
so much cheaper. You know that it's affordable when you're in this stage of growth like me, that you can afford the little money that these virtual assistants charge. But then to hire somebody to come in, I'm probably looking at $15, $20 an hour.
Yep. Do you have the supply for that?
I think I've got the supplies. I've got several thousand books here in my um, death pile. I can hear an alarm. I've
Yeah.
got several thousand books in my death pile, and then I'm still sourcing a good 500 odd a week. So, yeah.
Okay. So you could supply 700 a week in theory.
Yep.
Okay. So I have here written down, you need someone that can take the photos for you
Yep.
that you don't have to worry about.
Yep.
You need someone that can bring you 700 books a week, or a few people.
Okay.
You need one more virtual assistant to help with the lady you have, so that in case one is sick.
Yep.
So two VAs, maybe two part-time photographers, two or three people bringing in 700 books a week.
Mm.
Then you can take a proper holiday. I know it's down the road, but that's like not that far off from where you are, honestly. And you could bust your butt and do it all yourself, but then you can't take the holiday.
And so, if you had all these extra workers, you think, because obviously you've got the more money, like it's hard to wrap your head around paying all this money out for these workers. Like, then how does it how much extra do you have to do with these workers to then get that, not only pay
Well,
them but
because
get
right
money
now,
for
I mean,
you?
you would be able to pay for it immediately because you'd be getting twice as many listings up.
Mm,
Your revenue, it would not take that long because that's a huge increase.
mm,
If you were to move to 100 a day versus right now you're between 20 and 50 a day,
mm-hmm.
roughly, that's a huge, massive increase. What you could do is get to 50 a day just solo. I don't think you're at 50 a day right now, are you?
No,
Okay.
50 sales
So,
a day, no.
but 50 new listings a day you are.
50 new listings. I try to do at least 50 new listings a day because I'm sending her
Yeah.
in bulk lots of 50, but there are a few days where I miss and I get caught up. And so then that would bring the average down.
So what about baby steps? Can we get to, do you think you do 300 a week?
Yep.
Okay. I don't want to push you to where you blow up. How high could you go before you can't do it
I,
anymore?
I'm
What's your
more
limit?
worried about running out of storage. Like if I start, you
Ah,
do you know what I mean? Like if I
okay.
start running at like 100 a day, like where do I get to that point where I have to go into maintenance mode to maintain the level?
How full are
It,
the storage units?
they're pretty full. Like they're pretty, there's, I mean, there's still, say I've got 3,500 or something listings, then I've probably easily got room to go to 5 or 6,000. But
Hmm.
then after I get to that point, I feel like I'm going to be stretched for space in the units
Hmm.
because I can move some stuff around in there now and make a little bit more room. And I've got some clothing in there. And now that I'm not selling the clothing, I'm going to pull that out and bring that home and sell that off in a bulk load. So that'll free up some room for some more books, probably at least another 1,500 books where the clothing is stored. But I do worry about, I think, gosh, it just feels like so many things to consider in the grow. I've never really grown a business in this way, and
And you're
it's
growing
such
two
a,
businesses right now.
yeah, such a struggle really, and just hard to get your head around it. Like I'm very driven and I'm motivated and I'm happy to hustle and I'm happy to grind and put in the hours.
Mm-hmm.
It's just getting to that point where I think, is it becoming worth it? And am I making that extra money for all
What
the
if you
for all
what
the
if
work?
you what if you reduce the 50 a day to 35 a day and maintain a 900 to 1,000? Are you not satisfied with that?
Yeah, I would. I just doesn't feel enough with books doing 35 a day. It feels like how can I list 35 a day and that be enough? I don't know.
I think, I mean, this is, I think you can afford 15 hours a week to do 100 a day.
Yep.
That's only $300 a week. And with 15 hours, if I came and did all your if I came and did 700 photos for you and you paid
Yep.
me $350,
Yep.
you skipped the whole photography part.
Yep.
In my store, I only do the shipping.
Mm.
And it's because I like the shipping. I mean, I should not be doing the shipping. It's not a good use of time either. But
Yep.
it's fun for me. So that part is cool. But you
Yep.
can definitely. I think I need to help you overcome. You can afford a part-time photographer for 15 hours. Your
Yeah.
kid should definitely be doing them. One of your kids should be doing the 15 hours for you.
They don't want to, but maybe I should try and find one of their friends or something, because really it's just literally like the iPhone square photo. Everything's there. They don't need anything fancy for a book photo. It's pretty simple.
Right. That's easy to train.
Yep.
Then you get 15 hours a week back. And it's almost like let me think here. With your YouTube channel, what does your audience want from you?
I think they like to learn. I don't know if I ever set out to be like a teacher or anything, but I do think they like to learn from me, and they like when I share tips on how to do things.
Sure.
But I guess I really wanted to change up the YouTube a little bit this year. So I kind of feel like I have to dabble with different things that I haven't done before and see what response I get from it.
I'm sorry, maybe this is personal, but how do you want to monetize your channel?
I definitely want to grow it so that it's, if I'm going to put this time into it, I want it to be making me some income.
And do you want that to be from AdSense, or do you want to do other types of products?
Definitely AdSense, but I probably will look. I have always kind of had in my head that once I hit about 5,000 subs, then maybe I would look at going into some kind of merch or something. I don't know, but I kind of in my head I felt like I should be around 5,000 or more to even start that. Thought it might seem a bit silly to have merch before that period.
Well, one thing that's interesting about this niche, because I've been doing this a while, for 4 years. Last year I did 33,000 in AdSense, right?
Yeah.
Which is not very much for the amount of money time that I put into my YouTube channel, right? Yeah. But the opportunities that came from it are insane. Actually, the thing that made me the most money from my YouTube channel is the wholesale products that came in from that. That made me more money than anything else, more than coaching. It's the actual products that people presented to me, knowing that I'm a reseller. Right. So your opportunity is not the AdSense. Mm-hmm. Your AdSense could make you a few $1,000s a month, but you can make a living from the opportunities you get from different things. As an example, Alibaba is I've done a few videos with them. They are the biggest supplier of goods in the world, right? And you're going to meet wholesalers, you're going to meet companies. That's I would suggest you add some of that to your YouTube channel, because you don't need 5,000 subscribers to monetize on that. If you started reaching out with, especially, and then also there right now, because we're in a pandemic, everybody is underemployed. You could subsidize. Okay, this is controversial. Some people don't like that my channel is like that. But if I can do coaching for a couple of hours and it pays for my worker, I would rather do that. Yeah. Because when you hire someone, you're also giving somebody employment. That's amazing. Almost no one does that. Everyone works for someone else. You providing a job, That's like, in my opinion, the most glorious thing somebody can do. You're so
Mm,
abundant. You can support this VA and a 15 hour worker.
mm,
And photos, it's like, this is my suggestion for finding this person. The lady that I'm training right now, she used to be a waitress. And I told her during the interview, there are no customers at this job. All you have to do is just take the photos. And she's like, I'm in. I hate dealing with customers.
yep.
Anyone that's been in the food industry will crush these photos.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, really, they just have to come in and put the music up loud and
yeah.
get into a rhythm and take them and then go home. They don't have to deal with anything really.
Yeah. And then plus you are going to be motivated to get them $700.
Yep.
And then you're going to be motivated to make that card easier to read.
Mm.
My description, I will share my screen with you so you can get an idea. This, let me see. I split it up into two things. So I have this, which is the title. So I have a lady that writes the title. This is the location of where it is and the measurements.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was a bookseller, I would have a different format. This is your description card.
Mm-hmm.
So I split it up. One person does this part. The other person does the photos.
Mm-hmm.
And another person combines them.
Mm.
I think one thing that makes people super tired is switching tasks. You're
Mm.
switching from describing to photographs to uploading something for the VAs or separate things.
Yes, I think
So
that's where I fault, because then you lose that you're doing parts here and parts there, and then you drive and get a coffee through the drive-through, and then sometimes I'll sit there in the car and I'll drink the coffee, and then I think, I think there's probably, even though I work fast at the jobs that I do, I think there's a lot of probably time in between where I'm not being as productive, because sometimes I just need that wind down and that little bit of a break. So then I go slow in between. But yeah,
I think people need 20 minutes to switch because it's mentally totally different. That's why when a worker that does the same thing gets paid $15 an hour, and a worker that does something different gets paid $30 an hour, because it's so much more difficult.
Yep.
It's very challenging. If I were to come to your shop and you said, Chris, you're taking pictures of books, I'd be like, okay, great. Put on my podcast. I'm going to do some things. If you said you need to list books and clothing, I would be like, okay, I can't listen to music, because that's totally different. Especially if it was clothing, book. You wouldn't be able to do it. So you're doing the same thing, switching contexts, and it's going to be very tiring.
Yeah, I think that's why I've made the call not to do any clothing anymore, because I can take the photos of the books in the storage unit with the light that's in there, but I can't with the clothes. I have to take them at home.
Right.
So then I'm photographing in two different locations, and I find that just chops me around. Then I've got stock here, there, and everywhere, and that gets me out of the flow. So that's why I just really want to concentrate on getting such a streamlined flow with these books.
You can afford a 15 an hour worker. And I think that makes a great.
It feels like I'm scraping the bones anyway. But
you can, because not only that is a great YouTube video.
True.
That's the part that is the most interesting for my audience, is when I try something. And recently on my YouTube channel, I feel like every day I'm failing, and I've never had more success on my YouTube channel. People want to know what's not working. If everything is always on fire and you have everything together, then nobody cares.
Yep. But what about what's the percentage of stock wise? So what do you think I should be spending a week on new stock? Look at with my sales numbers or whatever. What do you think percentage I should be putting back into more stock?
At least 50%. I think during the growing stage.
Yeah.
I really, really would like one of your kids to help, because I want someone that cares as much about your business as you to help. But that's so difficult. But that would be a game changer if one of your kids could help for 15 hours a week, because they love you.
Mm.
That's so different.
They don't love my reselling, but that's the problem. They don't love the reselling.
But they might love the money or something.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
Um, yeah,
They
but
might like the holiday. They'll love the holiday.
they might like the holiday. And I feel like if you have a mission, they will jump on board. Everybody loves a finish line,
Yep.
and right now, how many books are in stock?
There's probably around 3,500, I think, that are listed.
Okay.
And then, yeah, I've probably got that many as well here in my death pile, at least.
That's funny. I would say that I could comfortably make six figures at 7,000 listed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so uncomfortable there. Isn't okay, this sounds so weird. At 11,000, I'm more comfortable than 7,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot
Okay.
less hectic because there's the cost of the workers is 300 and the sales are over 1,500, so it's like a low, it's plenty to pay for the workers.
Mm.
But I was still at seven. Just trying to think here. Clearly at 7,000 listed, you would comfortably double your income,
Mm.
assuming everything is the same. So
Mm.
it's almost like tell your kids 7,000 is the number.
7,000 listings.
Let's be on a mission and get there.
Yep.
You know.
Okay. So 7,000. So you think the idea is then just to get to about that 7,000 as quick as possible, and then set should I be aiming for more? If I can get more than 100 to the
Well,
VA a day, should I? Like,
you should, but it's more difficult to be consistent than it is to be big.
yes, I
Like you
think
could
that's the thing.
you could do 500 in one day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But the best way to do it would be to go from 3,500 to 3,700 to 3,900 to 4,100.
Yep.
I was impatient and just got somebody else's store, which is not how I don't recommend doing that because you're not used to it. That's why eBay has limits.
Yeah.
I would just say once a month, text me and be like, okay, the first goal should be getting from 3,500 to 4,000.
Yeah.
Worry about the storage costs because you're only getting, you have two now?
I've actually got 3.
Okay.
And one of them's a double one. So it kind of is. So I've got one storage unit that is 3 meters by 6 meters, and that's completely full of listed books. Then I have a 3 by 3 meter that I use for my shipping area and packing supplies. And I've got all the clothes in that one, but I'm going to move them out, and I'll end up being able to probably put about 1,500 to 2,000 books in that unit. And then the other unit is like the dumping room where I come in and I'm bringing all the books, a bit like a death pile room, I guess. I'm bringing the hauls in as I go. I'm price comping in that room. So I've got them all set up as I'm pricing them. So then they're ready to photograph. And I've got a few shelves in there where I'm starting to build like sets of books and stuff so yeah. So I've kind of got.
So maybe this will be reassuring for you.
Yeah.
In meters, I have 4 3 by 12s.
3 by 12s. Wow.
Okay. But I literally just got one at a time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't it was painful each time I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And now not so much.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you just slowly, the nice thing about storage units is you can just keep getting another space.
Yeah. They're not cheap, but.
No, they're not cheap. Nothing is, yeah.
I guess you get to that point. I have talked about it with my husband because we've got a 3-bedroom investment house.
Yeah.
And from what I'm paying now a week, it wouldn't even be double. If I'm paying like about $250 a week now in storage, and the mortgage on that house would be $250 a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So the mortgage on our actual house is probably about $400 a week. So
oh, wow.
I'm kind of at that thinking the next point, maybe instead of like renting our investment house out to tenants, that I just move into the investment house and have the whole 3-bedroom house as complete workspace and storage. And then I've got an outdoor shed as well. And I could set it up.
$250 a week? That's very expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, it is for the amount of space. But
Why is it so expensive? I feel like that's more than here.
yeah, it's just expensive this area where I live. Maybe like
Hmm.
this. That's just generally the storage units
I pay
here.
2,000 Australian dollars a month,
Mm.
but I have a lot more space.
So mine's about $250 per 3 by 3 meter.
Hmm.
So it's hard. So and three
That's
by three
very
meters,
expensive.
yeah,
Yes,
three
10.
by
Yeah.
three. It doesn't hold very much at 3 by 3, so it's very
No.
quick. It's very easy to outgrow it. And the biggest storage units we have in our complex are 3 by 6. So, and I've already got one of those. So
Hmm.
I kind of, to go up to the warehouse level to get an actual warehouse. Well, then I'm looking at like over double what I'm paying now, even maybe triple for an actual warehouse. So yeah, there's definitely the storage is a big expense, and I guess that does worry me about growing because I know it is expensive to store.
Hmm.
Mm.
My thought here is, yeah, if you got scaled to 100 books a day with one part-time person,
Hmm.
that's my recommendation from it, because I feel like it's too hard, the context switch. You're a woman of all trades. You switching from, because YouTube is so complicated. You've got to
Oh,
create it, you've got to make it, record it, edit it. It's just like eBay. And
mhm.
actually, what helped me with my YouTube channel, what helped me with my eBay store the most was when somebody told me that a YouTube video is a SKU.
Okay.
When I heard that, I was like, it's just like an eBay listing. The
Mm.
title, the photos, the content, you can pick a more popular subject, right, and go for it. So I think you need help because you don't have enough mental real estate.
No,
That's
I
where
don't.
it's full.
Yeah,
You
it
need
is.
some freedom to think.
Yep.
You will be able to make back the it I feel like another thing that I'm going to recommend is during that time that the photographer is there, I know you would be working.
Mm.
You wouldn't
Yeah.
watch them take the photos.
No.
You would think
No,
of
I'd
things to be
if I had
productive.
someone doing the photos there, I'd probably
Yeah,
be that's when I would probably be sorting and getting
that's
the
right.
next load of photos ready and
Yeah,
organizing the books and even putting the books away as she photographs, getting
right.
them into their SKU, or picking or packing, or I would be doing something while they're there. Yeah.
Okay. So when I go to a restaurant that I find that's very successful,
Mm.
the owner is walking around. Hey, let me do this. Hey, let me do this. That's
Yeah.
what you need to do. You can't be the server or the cook as the
Yeah, I need
owner.
to delegate. I need to
You need to
delegate the
delegate.
job.
You have to be that. And it will be less work
Mm.
because you're essentially paying $300 for more than 15 hours of productivity, because that's
Mm.
just the photos part. You're clearing up the ability to go for it. Also,
Mm.
it's not permanent. You
Mm.
can afford $300 for 1 week to test it.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know,
that's true.
I think
Test
that's a,
somebody.
I have tried sometimes and then doesn't work, but you're not hiring somebody forever.
No.
And that's why I like the 2 day a week thing.
Mm. Mm.
Also, another thing I find fascinating is this lady has a full-time job. I always look for busy people. She works for me 2 days a week and has a full-time job.
Mm.
She's a hustler. She wants it. And I told her she can make more money. And then she's like, let's do it. You get more stuff ready and we'll make more money together.
Yep.
And you need to find someone, like, if they say I can come anytime, delete that email.
Okay.
That person is not a good person.
Okay. What
Um,
about somebody who was like traveling, like an au pair or something? Like, do you have that somebody who's, just in town for like 6 months or something and they just need extra money, extra work?
I prefer the term married and buried is what my old boss used to call it, because they're permanent workers.
Okay.
That's what you would want to look for. Obviously, somebody who I put must have great fluency with mobile phone,
Mm-hmm.
because they have to feel comfortable with it, which
Yep.
usually does mean a younger person. But you don't want to rehire somebody.
No.
You want a permanent 15-hour an hour worker.
Mm.
And you want to be there when they're there. I promise you, you will not waste that time.
Yep.
If
Yeah.
I, yeah,
If I had somebody there, I'd probably be more productive
for
because
sure.
I'd almost feel like I've got to hustle so that they hustle. So
Yeah,
there'd be no dilly dallying and stuff around
no,
because
there
you know
wouldn't
I'd
be.
be almost wanting to impress them like I'm this fantastic business owner.
And you would be a proper business owner instead of owning your own job.
Yep.
Right now, your virtual assistant is like your assistant.
Mm.
You know, you're not delegating much. She's helping a little bit,
Yep.
but you haven't delegated a. Actually, yeah, actually, that's not true. You've delegated listing to her.
Yep.
You have.
Yep. Yep.
Um, hmm. Yeah, this is. You're pretty close. You have the. You need to get a little bit of. It's just the little minor adjustments here.
Yep. Yeah.
You're not far off. Very few people get to 100K. You should really commend yourself. The average seller only does 2,000 per month.
Yep.
You're already
Yeah.
5 times the average. I know it's not quite good enough yet, but
Yep.
we will get there. I'm very excited. We should do this once a month because I'm curious with your pushing. We have
Growth.
if you were to add 15-hour a week worker, get a little bit of a supplier, work on appointments, your space situation I wrote down, you need this is wishful thinking, but I put an unusually cheap warehouse situation.
Yes, I know. I know. That's why I'd kind of thought the next level up, maybe I take over this whole house of
Yeah, I
ours,
think so.
because at 400 a week from 250 to 400, I would get a lot more space.
Yep.
Um,
You might be able to get a trade for rent person too.
mm.
That's really, imagine someone living in your eBay store. But that they would never be late to work if they lived there.
Well, they could have we could, yeah, we could my husband is a builder, he could probably divide something off. They could have the kitchen, the bathroom, and the main bedroom, and then I could have the whole rest of the house.
Yeah, that's what my mother-in-law recommended for us. She was like,
Mm.
"Why do you guys need a house? Live in the warehouse."
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
yeah, that's awesome. And I
Yeah.
get to come to you for advice with parenting.
Okay. Oh, no.
So I'm
That'll
excited
be
for
good.
that.
I do think that talking to you, but really, because I find you so motivating,
Yeah.
and like I just respect your hustle so much. And I just find that when I do talk to you, it does give me new ideas, and things that I've maybe been slumped about, I end up feeling like more like I can do it. Like I
You
feel
are very different than the first time we chatted.
okay.
This business is totally different.
Oh yeah, the business has totally
It's
changed, and
totally different. It's much bigger too.
I didn't have any storage then. I didn't have any virtual assistants. I was chugging. I was probably yeah, I don't know. I'm working really hard. I'm working long hours now, and the business has changed, but I feel like it's changed for the better.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely feel like I didn't notice like really any growth in sales wise since I talked to you last time, but that was because so much was changing and I was implementing so many new systems and moving stock, and like it was like starting again almost. But
Definitely.
yeah.
You're a much better entrepreneur than last time. And now we just need to stop changing things.
Yeah.
Tech and Sports told me, can you not be daily refinement for a whole year? Just do the same thing all year. And
Just
you'll
that
be
same,
just
constant. It's like
do the
McDonald's,
same
isn't
thing.
it?
Yeah,
They just make
stop improving things. It's already good enough.
just do it
It's working.
that same, like when they make a Big Mac, just the same system over and
And
over.
it's an average burger.
Yeah, we just got to have the same.
Yeah, it's an average burger. There's nothing special about a Big Mac.
No.
So I'm excited. I want to visit you because I've never been to Australia. So
You're welcome.
We'll
You're
come.
welcome anytime. Come to Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I cannot believe that
here.
California has more people than Australia.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's insane.
Yep.
The
You would love it
opportunity.
here.
Yeah,
You would love it
I
here.
would love it.
It would be so different as well. You'd see how different it is, and everything is so different here than reselling. Our charity shops, our garage sales, everything is so different than what you have in America.
Yeah.
Yep.
And are you doing any networking with local resellers as well? you have any
Um,
YouTube friends locally in Australia?
I've got some YouTube friends that are up in Queensland, so it's about a
Mm,
12-hour drive for me.
I
But
see.
I went up there late December, and I was up there in about February, March. So I went twice last year up to see them and thrifting and
Hmm.
just hanging out and brainstorming and stuff. So and I talk on the phone. You know, I do a lot of messenger video chats, and
Yep.
so I do have people that I work through things with and stuff, and but we're all kind of in that same position of how to grow to that next level, and it's just can be tricky.
I love it.
Yeah.
So we should also schedule something with all of them
Hmm.
because I feel like that localness is really good. I have a lot of sellers that are near me as well. So it
Hmm.
really helps getting that motivation because there are so many big sellers around me now
Hmm.
that I just feel at peace
Mm.
because I'm the smallest fish in this big pond. And it's nice.
Mm.
It's comforting because there's a lot of room for growth and they've been through it
Mm.
and people have situations that are worse than mine and they
Mm.
still made it.
Mm.
So I see that as inspirational and you meet people. This year in eBay or one the award winner was a lady that she only hires like former convicts. Um,
Oh,
and she gets subsidized from the government to hire those people. And
okay.
they're so grateful for a second chance. They're like making her store amazing.
Yep.
There's so many
I,
creative ways to do it.
I find it so motivating to hear that there's people who are bigger and at that next level, and like tech and sports, he's at another level again,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's so motivating to hear that they get to those next levels, yet they've got almost more time and they've
And more
got
time.
more,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll
you've
tell you
got
for
more
sure.
time.
I have more time than before. Way more time.
Yeah. Like even when we're scheduling this and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
working with your time, and you're
No,
like, but you're
I feel
busier. And I'm like,
I'm not
but
busy.
you're busy. You've got podcasts and this and Patreons, and I'm thinking he's got way more on than me.
It's
Mm.
just systems now.
Yep.
The thing I learned the most about tech and sports is we made a podcast.
Yep.
It's
I've signed up. I'm in the Patreon.
we record every week at the same time.
Mm.
We have we prepare for the episode the same way. We ask people for content the same way.
Hmm.
And then to me, I'm like, wow, this is why he's like this.
Mm.
Everything is like clockwork.
Mm.
And not one episode has been that special, but it's huge. The podcast is huge. I can't
Mm.
believe thousands of people listen to it, and it's only been 2 months
Mm.
because it's just the consistent. His store has 29,000 common items in it. It's not a home run store. It's a $25 store.
Yeah.
And
Which I
that's
like the
inspiring.
trip. I like the tweet. I like those stores because,
Yeah.
it makes it so much easier to source everything. And
And you're
so
not
I
worried about returns and there's no
no.
headaches. So
And
it's
if you buy something and it's cost you 20 cents or 30 cents, it's no, if it doesn't sell at the end of the day, you feel like, okay, well, I can get rid of that. It didn't sell, like,
that's right.
whereas if you've paid out $15 or $20, if you've paid out that higher amount for
Hmm.
stock and it doesn't sell, it's like a real punch in the stomach, whereas,
That's right.
yeah,
Well,
I like it.
Mel, let's wrap up. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Where can people find you?
Back from Burnout on Instagram and YouTube. And yeah, I'm keen. I'm sharing a lot more behind the scenes now on YouTube. And
I
yeah,
love it.
people seem to be liking it so far. So
Cool. Well, I would love to, if I can do anything for your channel, let me know.
thank you.
And hopefully we can discuss different ways because that's something you have a personality for that. It's that's a huge opportunity as well. So I'm glad
Mm,
that you're doing both. And
mm.
I hope that when we one day hang out, you'll have two six-figure businesses.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That'd be
looking for.
nice.
Cool.
Oh,
So
that'd be like a dream come true.
proper holiday and two six-figure incomes. Let's go. I love it, Mel.
Holiday to the US.
That's right. All right, Mel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Thanks, Chris. Bye.